Hy is gebore in die land van wyn en koring, effens groot en pakkie bulle aan die horing. Hy stap daar met 'n blou ding in sy hand, toe hy dit suig, dink almal die dorp is aan die brand. En hy sê lekker, lekker op 5 plekke, en almal staan met opgehangde bekke. Hy sê hoe's het en hy vat nog 'n paar trekke, want dis lekker, lekker op 5 plekke. Sy sak hang swaard en al die batterye, hy koop die sousie nie, hy maak sy eie. Sy diere sien die wolk en gooi 'n tuinslang oor die muur, maar het ryk so suurlemoen en het proe selfs bietjie suur. En hy sê lekker, lekker op 5 plekke, en almal staan met opgehangde bekke. Hy sê hoe's het en hy vat nog 'n paar trekke, want dis lekker, lekker op 5 plekke. En hy sê lekker, lekker op 5 plekke, en almal staan met opgehangde bekke. Hy sê hoe's het en hy vat nog 'n paar trekke, want dis lekker, lekker op 5 plekke.
Daar sy, waar wil hy wees? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, for another bloody Wednesday Winged show. How you doing? It feels like ages. That's why I also posted 2 reviews this weekend, just so that I do not get left behind, that you guys do not desert this channel. Any case, yeah, but you can expect it, man. Things are busy at the school. The school needs to advertise for 2022 grade 7s. So they're putting up this massive show, and that was the thing last week. And the assessments are coming in, the tests are being written. You know, a teacher is a busy man. But we try to get there. And then we're also going to post a 1 or 2 reviews this weekend as well, of which one of them is actually going to be, and that was kindly sent by Homegrown Distributions. And I think there might be quite a few people interested in it. And it's this little monkey nut, the Blotto Max. So thanks Homegrown, Mr. Farad, for sending this along. And he also did send this guy, which is from you all. So for all those Caliburn fans, but it's not going to be a long review. It's a very basic thing, this, but I'll show you that, and I think my wife will give her opinion about it, because she has hogged it since it came here with the G2 Caliburn as well. But any case, be that as it may, how you guys doing, man? How you guys doing? I think you're very excited for tonight's show, because there's somebody important in the house tonight. And besides that, we're also going to speak to Matt a bit later. We're going to talk to Matt. Dion Dunhauser says he cannot watch. Unfortunately, he has got load shedding. The load shedding is a nonsense business. It's a nonsense business, but it's here to stay. It's going to be here for a long while. It's the same as those group of people that want to tax the vaping. It's going to be here. It's going to be here for a long while. In any case, and the petrol prices, I can guarantee you it's going to hike. It's going to stay like that for sure. But anywho, what can we do? And hopefully the next elections, the people start wisening up, clamping down on the corruption, sorting out the monetary issues in the upper tiers of our country, and hopefully it gets channeled into the correct directions. But that's all we can do, is actually hope. So in any case, what I'm going to drink tonight is something which I actually ordered from Takealot. I don't know if you folks know this. This is Boer Cola. It's Boer Cola. So I'm going to stump it tonight. And if you're wondering how Boer Cola actually tastes, it's basically exactly between Coke and Pepsi. Basically between that. And but you got to drink it very cold. It enjoys itself being icy. Any case, so Tinus Auto, I'll be watching on my phone, power bank due to load shedding, but Matt's my favorite reviewer. Got to see this show tonight. Now that's good. I have confirmed with him about an hour and a half ago, so we are good to go. Matt will talk to us Let's quickly see if you guys who actually know Matt. You think you know Matt. What is his surname? What is his surname? I keep on talking. I haven't even done a sound test yet. Just in chat, thumbs up for a sound test or okay or something positive. Dion says, my phone and my fiber does not operate during load shedding. MTN tower and fiber has no backup power, although I have a UPS running. Yeah, we've only got a UPS for our little not modem, fiber, little fucking unit, little jobby. And then I was got that little power bank situation, which I actually bought for the television on the inside and for the kids to run their laptops from. My wife bought exactly the same one this week. And she installed it at her work for their computers and their fax machines, and it's working hunky-dory. But otherwise, our lights, we've got gas stoves, we've got a gas grill, so slowly but surely, I must just get something for this room as well. So for my wife's laptop on my right-hand side, and for my setup over here, I'm just going to need another setup. But all in due time, Rome wasn't built in a single day, ne? Nico's also inside the house, no load shedding. Nico, those bastards in Goodwood, those guys stay on the hospital lines or in an area close to the hospitals, so they only get load shedding if it's above stage 2, I think, and hence they so windgat inside chat saying that they do not have load shedding. Damn it! And then while I'm talking over here, if I'm not mistaken, if Delaray Stein is inside chat, Delaray, please confirm, I think you've hit your 12 months of honors membership on the channel, which is awesome. I think somebody posted earlier, 15 months he's been an honors member of Wing It. I can't believe the show has actually lasted that long. We oaks that keep on watching. So we're going to have a general chat about all kind of balls, which we're currently doing in any case. Then we're going to have a lucky spin for I think there's 14 members, tertiary and honors members that indicated that they want to be part of the giveaway, and that will be 5 of Jacovelte sponsored juices. I will throw in a pair of blue white collar aliens, spanking new. I will also throw in a custom made Kaiser key ring keychain, which Nicolibba has made and donated. And then there's also the Wasp Nano RTA, the version 2. And you will also get a Recurve, the Recurve version 2 RDA by Mike Vapes and Wotofo. So that lucky spin is going to come up, and then after that we will probably hit the half-past mark, and by then we'll be zooming with Mr. Matt for about a half an hour plus, and you guys can post the questions which you wanted. Let's see who knows Matt's surname. So Jaco Veldhuis, goeienaand. Jaco, thanks for those juices, much appreciated. I'm sure the oaks are going to enjoy that though. Rob says, screw load shedding. I just spoke to my wife about it. I mean, even if we just save up 20,000 Rand and just get 3 panels and just for the fridges to start off with, and then 6 months down the line, if you saved up another 10, just add another solar panel and get something else hooked up, slowly but surely to get off this grid. But my brother also did that. He's totally been off the grid for about 6-7 years already, and also exactly like Rob says, money well spent. He will never look back again. It's a perfect. Paul Beetke, goeienaand. And a.k.a. is inside the house. He's here. There's Warren Dean. Warren Dean, member for 15 months. 15 months. That's awesome stuff. Congrats, man. Tinus Otto, he says he won't be able to join in the chats tonight because apparently he's on the phone. The screen's a bit small though. Tinus, no problem. I know you're fairly new to the channel, but we are a very forgiving lot. We will not hunt you down and troll you, my mate. We're not like that, so it's fine. As Vos Reineke al, ja, hallo, ek is soos Nico. Wat is load shedding? Hier kom self van die kerk nou deur en sê hy is in. Oh my word, you guys must be quicker. You're lucky I can add a name now. But yeah, please get your names in a bit earlier though, because it takes a bit of a mission to prep for this show, ne? Dis is sommer net vir soon nie. You must get your slideshows ready and your format of the pictures. All those things must be geared up. Then you must make sure your song is already picked, it's over there. Then you must make sure your Zoom contact is up and running. He's for okay for later tonight. Dis is sommer net vir soon nie. Nee, so yeah, just a bit earlier, boys, man. Don't be like that, nah. JP Maton, goeienaand allemaal. The Wet Gates, good evening. Henry Landsberg, good evening. Everyone and in chat, hope all is good. How's it, Kaiser? Now I'm good as gold. I'm good as gold. Ek is hier. By the way, if you want to watch a lovely series, watch that new series on Netflix. If you have got access to Netflix, called, I think it's Pieces of Her. It's the thing called. It's trending #1 at the moment. With the girl that played in the Muriel's Wedding. That actress, very good actress. With a bit of a bakoortjies en so aan. Here, hier's Calvin van der Merwe. Hier kom hy ook nou deur met he's in, I'm in. What do you think I'm running here? Daycare center. What's up with you oaks? But earlier, man. But I'll add your names. No problem, I'll do it. Tennis Mulder, good evening. Christian Bainkies is here. Hier is 'n klomp mense vanaand. Almal net hier om vir my te sien. You guys better give Matt some love later, né? Please click on the like button if you haven't done so. Warren Dean, hey Timothy, Fee's here, Fee. Nice to have another Cape Townian join us. A West Coaster. Probably you guys had a nice cooler day down there closer to the ocean than we had here in Belleville. Just like it. It was warm today, especially when I hit the house. It was load shedding this morning from 6 o'clock till 8:30. And then it was load shedding from 2 o'clock to 4:30. And now we've got load shedding. Luckily tonight I'm skipping the load shedding because we've got load shedding from 10 o'clock to 12:30. Now apparently the stage 3 is only supposed to go up until 10 o'clock. So I've got no idea. But thankfully it's cooled down already. But it was lekker warm vanaand, man. It was warm tonight, oaks. Ons dik ouens kry swaar hier in hierdie blerrie hitte. Klebantyn, hey, look at that name, Klebantyn. Yeah, everyone goods. Timothy Victor, I see you guys. I think Pretoria is leading currently on the showdown, vape meets versus Joburg versus Pretoria type of situation. And just to get the people coming, I think they've got all sorts of vendors sponsoring free pot systems and free this and free that. So yeah, that's actually awesome. If you're wondering what t-shirt I've got on, this is one of the designs. I'm actually going to show you the designs in the slideshow, but I've got all my t-shirts here. I got them made. And that's the design which is on here. It's something you might have seen, but it's Kiss It, I'm Vaping. But what's nice about it is on this cargo box, which you see over there was different labels. Not something I designed, it's something I stole from the internet and just converted it, but I'm not selling it. It's just for my personal use, so I don't think they will have a problem. But I put there's a bottle of juice on the crate. I put the word blimey, my juice, this lekker juice is on that crate. And then I also put White Collar's emblem on there, and I think I put Inked Vapor from Jurgens is on there, and Vapor's Cafe is on there as well, so that's very nice. But you'll see it on the slideshow. I actually put up the various designs on the slideshow, and then the members can decide whether they want me to go and post it for you blokes. Upload it to my cloud space and just pop the link into the community tab. That I will do anytime. Any case, let's quickly check still before we go over to that lucky spin and then get that behind us. But let's just quickly put in those names of those oaks quickly over there. Calvin van der Merwe, so that Calvin van der Merwe. Add the oak, add the bloke, and then Mr. Charles van die Kerk. Charles van die Kerk. Charles has upgraded, so he's very excited. Hier stuur hy nog 'n boodskap. He's sending another message that is in. Any case, let's quickly just do the lucky spin and get that behind us. And there we go. That's the screen for the lucky spin. There are the names, a total of 16 names on that screen. So we will do the customary 3 shuffles and then we will do the spin. Okay, where we go over there? There you go. Shuffle once and shuffle twice and shuffle 3 times and spin. Right, may the best warrior win. And it's turning. Up a chip. Oh my word, can you believe it? Can you talk it over to someone? The late entry, and he vrachtig wins this thing. He vrachtig wins it. Now that's just the luck, huh? How lucky can you get? Damn it. It's like it. Any case, Charles van die Kerk, congratulations. I will send that up to you, and I'm sure you are going to enjoy that. You, in any case, must enjoy Charles' juices, Jacob Veldhuis juices. I haven't even gone through what I'm vaping here. I still got my beast, my Hydron DNA 250C Dual 21700 monster over here. The paint is still holding up, but I must say I've probably opened the door about 5 times. in total, and then just putting it back, opening it up, putting it back. But yeah, no, I'm still gooing this number. And what is inside here, and I might as well just quickly mention it. I actually ordered some juices from a local mixer. He's called Adrian Kruiwagen. Now, some of you folk on ESEG-SA might know him as IVP Mixer. And I ordered some few things which I thought I would like, and he threw in 2 samplers as well, of which the one I must still test, the blackcurrant on ice, I must still test. But there was a lime freeze, which I ordered. There was a sweet strawberry, which I cannot touch up until about the 14th. It still needs to steep. And then there's a nachi, which I've tested. There's a caramel ice cream waffle, which I've tested. And then there's a lime milkshake, which I've tested. Now I can off the bat tell you, Oaks, this guy knows how to mix. One of the samplers which he sent was a Red Bull. Now if you like Red Bull, you're going to love this juice. Absolutely, there's nothing wrong with this profile. There's no harshness. The nick he uses is of a good quality. There's absolutely nothing wrong, and that's currently what I've got in a year. My Aegis L200 with the Asgard Mini on top, as per usual. Hence the reason why Charles won the recurve V2, because it does not knock the Asgard Mini from its pole position. But you're really going to like this Red Bull. It's not that in-your-face Red Bull, that heavy carbonated Red Bull situation. It's a very nice, mellowed, lovely Red Bull. You're going to enjoy this. So order the Red Bull. Give it a go. The waffle and ice cream. You can definitely give this a bang for sure. I mean, this guy knows how to mix. Absolutely. And then one thing which I'm extremely happy about is the lime milkshake. Is this oak. Now his prices are probably the best prices I've seen as well. So you're definitely going to get a quality juice. I was worried, hence the reason I actually ordered 60 mils and not 100 or 120 mils or things like that though. Because I was afraid I might not like it. Because I've so many times tested juices which have been overhyped. And I'm a bit disappointed then, man, when it gets here and it's chachapoo. But in this case, we we often go to Asami's. Well, not anymore though. Asami's went downhill. I don't know if you guys know Asami's, but Asami's here in Tiger Valley. Wow. So the place where we go now is called Parafish in Durbanville. Absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal sushi, that is. But Asami's had a lime milkshake. And I always chase the flavor of that lime milkshake. And here Mr. Adrian Kruiwagen comes up with that flavor. And that's what I've currently got inside this beast. It's a very nice lime milkshake, for sure. The lime freeze is a nice lime freeze, but it's not the lime which I like. It's the blimey and this lime shake which I was after. This lime freeze is, as I said, Adrian said he didn't put any Florida key lime in here or in a Wera lime, but that's the type of profile I'm getting. It's still a very nice lime, but it's just not the lime I'm after, because I mean I'm so used to blimey. I was looking for a lime milkshake and he came up with this guy. It is a very nice lime milkshake. The nachi, spot on, what I can tell you, spot on. And then the other one which I actually ordered, which I was very excited about, is one of his new recipes, which is called a cherry fizz pop. And it's a nice fizz pop. It's one of the nicer cherries out there on the market. Even better than most of the cherries which I've actually, well, it's better than all the cherries out there on the thing. But I've managed to make a cherry which is nicer for me than this one. The only reason my wife loves it, she grabbed the bottle. She's vaping the crap out of that cherry fizz pop. But most of the cherries which you get, the flavorings, have got that wild side to it though. That wild taste to it though. And that's what I wasn't looking for. I was looking for a pure cherry candy. Like back in the day, we got Kojak lollipops. And those lollipops were bangers. And I was after that thing. And I managed to make it. But one of the ingredients which I have in my recipe, I can post that recipe. It's an amazing cherry pop recipe. But the thing is, one of the ingredients is something which is called Red Burst, which is a strawberry candy. And that I put in to tame the cherry. And yay. Prima Plus. But as I said, this cherry is very nice, but it's just got that wild factor, which I'm not too much a fan of, but my wife loves it. And I'm sure anyone that's going to enjoy cherry is going to love it. But in any case, so definitely you have got my okay for sure to support Adrian Kruiwagen IVP mixer, especially with these taxes which are going to be implemented. This is definitely an alternative for you guys to consider, because his juices is good. I will definitely be ordering more from him to test his other profiles as well. Anywho, so yeah, that's that regarding the juices which I am currently vaping over here. That is inside here, I said, and then I've still got my SX, love this, K-Fun. And what I've got inside here, the MTL, because I don't have Arabian Nights anymore. My Arabian Nights is Opalala, is gone, but I've still got Pied Piper, and I've got the Connoisseur in here. If Mr. Jaco Veldhuis decides to make his juices, these tobacco juices, in MTL versions, then I will be a happy man. But currently 3 milligram is not going to work for me. I do not direct lung any tobacco flavored juices. I want to MTL them. And that's hence I'm a bit of connoisseur on here at the moment there. And then inside this monkey nut, I've got some Vapology running. The passion fruit lychee is inside, not this oak, is inside this humongous, this guy. I still love this though. I'm still waiting for my tank from Nico. He's busy making it now. And then we'll actually can show you next week what the straight glass on this guy looks like. And then my daily, the Arbiter 2 on top of my original OG Geek Vape Aegis. And that's that. Those are the setups I'm still running though. No surprises. My wife, as I said, she's running the Caliban G2 and she's enjoying this pop reel, this yearn for fun pop reel from UL. But this is basically just, how can I say, their budget. This is their budget contribution to the market. I mean, you're only going to get one cartridge inside here. You have to switch out the whole cartridge. You can't just swap out the atomizer. So you got to get the whole thing, or the coils, put it that way. But and then it's got the basic USB cable inside this. But it's just for the guy on the go to grab something which is going to give him nice flavor. Very simple to use. Charges very quickly as well. So it's actually a very on-the-go device. And it's strange, I haven't heard about this in any case. So Farad said he's going to send these to because he just doesn't hear anybody talk about this pop reel. And I think it's a very nice on-the-go thing. But if any of you guys tested the Blotto or have got the Blotto Max, let me know just before I actually test it over this weekend. It would be interesting to see what you guys think. I might as well just quickly go over this to the slideshow and show you a few things on the slideshow. So long. Okay, let me just make sure that my pictures are lekker 5 plekke. There you go. Just want to get those pictures and then you will see the designs which I've currently got. And those are the oaks which I'm talking about. So there's my Deadpool design. Alright, obviously just blended two pictures together, made a PNG of it, but I was looking for a nice Deadpool because I am a nice Deadpool fan. If you want to see it on the t-shirts, you can just ask me and I can actually lift up the t-shirts and show you. But that's one of the designs which I did. Another design is this oaks, the one which I'm currently wearing, is Kiss It, and if you look very closely, you'll see White Collar's label in there. You'll see Vapors Cafe on the crate. You will see Inked Vapor there yonder, and then on the bottle, it is just left of his left cheek. There you'll see Blimey in there. But that's the one which I'm currently wearing. And then there's Lekop 5 Plekke. That's him. That's what I decided on. And I actually printed it on black, and I think it actually looks very cool on the black t-shirt. But yeah, just something roughish. Something which says Lekker or 5 Plekke. And then because I'm a huge fan of Salvador Dali, I got 6 of his works and just PNG'd his signature on the bottom right. And I also got that on one of the t-shirts as well. I'm a big fan of this bloke. And Slap Fight, I'm a huge Slap Fight fan. And especially now, you guys must start watching this. I mean, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It's absolutely crazy how big this Slap Fight is becoming. And then we have got The Witcher. what can I say? What can I say? Big fan of The Witcher. Huge fan of Henry Cavill. I think he's an awesome Witcher. I think he's an awesome Superman. I think he's an awesome British agent as well. I think he should become the new James Bond. But that's just my opinion. But that I decided also to get myself made. So if you guys are interested of those designs, just let me know and I will upload it. I've got no problem. Let's quickly check in chat what is going on. I've missed quite a few. I know I've missed quite a few. Almeru Roo is inside the house. Goeienaand Almeru. Kelvin, yes, is inside chat as well. There we go. Ronaldo, the iDad dude. That's a new one over there. Welcome, Ronaldo. And just want to say Tianus Mulder is there. Henry Landsberg, member for 11 months. Winged Secondary, 1 month to go. Happy to support a great channel. Thank you, Henry. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. I think we've only got 2 channels in South Africa left that is surviving. And I'm fortunate enough to have a membership, a following that can get the channel up and running. Ronaldo, thank you very much for joining. The Good Guys. Ronaldo is from the vendors Good Guys in the PE area there. PE or East London? Port Elizabeth, I can't remember. But they are online. And you guys go and support him as well. He has got a lot of juices. I'm off at 10, worst time. That's true. We've decided to go solo too. That's the best option, man. Cully, there you go, Shabir. Shabir's got the surname. Matt Cully, Matt Cully. There you go. The Oaks know it, man. They know it. Even Rob Fisher knows the people. But Rob Fisher knows everyone, man. I'm watching Peaky Blinders now on Netflix. Oh my Lord, Henry, please tell me, did the new Peaky Blinders start? The one with Rowan Atkinson in as one of the bosses. That should be great. Yeah, it was a hot day today for sure. Geluk, congrats, Charles. There you go. Congrats. Talk about timing. Yeah. Now that is absolutely the luck of the draw. But Charles has got that type of luck that's working. He had such a bad month last month, or 3 weeks ago, that I think the guy deserves it. So I'm actually very glad. Jacob Veld is, there's Andriaan Kruiwagen. There's the man, the juice man. Daar's die ou. Ja, Adrian, jou Red Bull is baie lekker hoor. Your Red Bull is very nice. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Let's just quickly go to the slideshow. I've just got so much crap I want to say tonight. Any case, for all you Smok fans, this is the RPM 5 Pro Pod, but you also get the RPM 5 normal pod. The difference is the one's going to have an internal battery and the other one is going to have a 18650 battery. But you can see that by the 80 watts over there. So yeah, there's something which you can get. I'm not a fan of these pods, which actually these proprietary pods that sit with the magnets on the inside where you can't use your own 510 threading. Not a fan of that at all. But in any case, there are people that's going to like it. I like the look of this thing. I mean, it's not bad look. It almost looks like it's got a bit of carpet on it. But yeah, as I said, that is a RPM 5 Pro pod, which you've got over there. And then there's a nice one which Aspire actually released. I also like that look. But unfortunately, it's an 18650. 18650, but I think they claim that it can go up to 100 watts with an 18650. And I think it's also only 2 coils which is going to provide it with the atomizer, which is a 0.15 and a 0.2 ohm coil. So this guy is made for high wattage vaping. So I'm sure the flavor will be probably decent. And as I said, I like the look of that thing, man. But unfortunately, 18650, it's not going to do it for me. But then we've got our video. This picture I showed you guys the previous live which we did, the single clamp system. But now I think all of us know that this picture belongs to this. And this is the Artemis V2, which has been released by Thunderhead Creations. And yeah, so there are people that like the rods. There are people that like the RDTA's situation. So maybe this single screw clamp system does it for you and you actually want to try it out. But I don't find I don't like these type of atomizers. I've never found an RDTA which I enjoy as much as what I enjoy an RTA or an RDA. So for me it's basically pointless buying it. If I get sent, it's fine, I'll check it out, but not for purchase. Not for purchase. And then, because obviously the Vaporesso the Gen S's and those things did so well, they decided to bring out this, and this is the Gen 80S kit, which you've got, also 18650, 80 watts. The same type of situation, at least they brought out a little single version, but they also decided just to change things up a bit because the Gen S did so well. They decided to bring out this guy as well. And this is the Gen 200S. So same material, same design, same feel, everything except the positioning of the screen and the positioning of the buttons. They just decided to let's take the stuff from the side, keep everything the same, and then just put it on the front, and let's sell it. Because the previous one sold well. Maybe there are people that like big screens. I know there are a lot of people that like big screens. As I said, the Aegis brought out I think the Aegis X. What was the thing with a large screen? The whole side was one big massive screen. And it sold extremely well. I'm just not a fan of these big screens. But that's what the Gen 200S actually looks like. And then sweet pie. Here comes our Mr. Geek Vape and decides to bring us another 21700 single battery beast, which you can kick around and drop kick. and I like it. I like it. Simply because it's got that rubberizing, which I always think is a good idea, which I thought basically lacked over here. So hopefully they've got a bit more rubberizing on it. It seems so at the base. But what I also like about it is that on-off switch, which is situated over there. I like the fact that this L200 has got that on-off switch. That's nice. So this guy's got it. Something which I might consider for sure. And then we have got the Boxer Classic DNA 60 Boro box, which has been released by Suckmymod. And you can see at the bottom picture, the one right at the bottom, there's quite a few of the portions, the parts, which you can buy separately to totally customize these stuff to the liking of your color combinations. But yes, I think it's a nice looking device. I think it should do well. It's always a pity if you have to order something from Suckmymod that it takes so long to get here. Even if you pay a lot, I paid a lot of money and it still took a long time to actually get here. So yeah, but I think it's a very nice idea. I think it looks better than what the new one which everyone's raving about, man, which I thought wasn't bad, but it's not, the flavor wasn't up there for me. The one from Here weet. Vergeet ek alweer. Nee, want ek kan maar los. Ek kan maar los. But in any case, so that is, and that's the last one which I actually want to show you. The reason why I want to show you is because Ambitions Vapor released this video, I think 2 days ago, yesterday or 2 days ago, I'm not sure. But that's the essential RDA from Reload. And I was just thinking, at first he said he mounted his coils too high. He had them belly up, it was too high and it lacked a lot of flavor. But then he decided to put the belly down. Now I'm just wondering if I look at this RDA, the build deck of this RDA, if those coils mustn't still, because that was his build. And he enjoyed the flavor when he put those things in. He just said 3 millimeters are going to be a tight fit. He would advise 2.5 millimeters, but I wonder if you mustn't still go further down with your coils, closer to those airflows. But in any case, I'll try that though, but it's just an interesting looking deck. So I'll definitely give that a go. Let's quickly check what's going on over here. Check inside the chat. Last time I was there with Jaco Veldhuis. Pierre Harding. Here is Pierre Harding ook in die huis. Pierre, many a moon ago. I still every now and again see pictures of you on Facebook. Icelandic polar bears. Here, check that name. It's long. 18650 does only max 80 watt. Yeah, that's what I say, 100 watts. But there's a 100 watt device being advertised, but it's only 18650. We know that. Marketing crap for sure. Don't like the design though. Yuck. Let's hope they fix the 510 issue. Not for me. Gen 200 is a big flop. Money slapping again. I agree with you, Pierre Harding. Absolutely agree with you. What's best advice for getting off cigs? I'm 16 and trying to stop smoking. If you're 16, you can't watch this channel. You're too young. You're too young. But I like your name. Delaray Stein, evening all, Delaray. I spoke about you earlier, but Delaray, please confirm if you a 12-month honors member of the channel. I'll just quickly put in my email again. And I think it's time that we actually go over and get Mr. Matt on. I do not want to waste his time for sure. But there, I'll just add my email over there. Let's just quickly see if Matt is inside the house. And he is there. We are going to admit Mr. Matt Cully. There you go, Matt. Oh my goodness gracious. You look a bit confused there, Matt. Can you hear me?
Can you see me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you and I can see you extremely well.
Perfect. How you doing, man?
No, I'm great. I'm switching over there to the Winged Zoom screen. Matt, why did you decide to be a guest on the show?
Because you asked me, and you're kind of intimidating, so I didn't want to say no. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of intimidating, yeah.
It's always a good time talking to vapors in other countries and learning more about what's going on in their country, since we're all dealing with different issues and regulations and bullshit when it comes to vaping.
Because that's the whole thing. I was just a bit worried that because the vaping scene is busy going in a decline, I thought that you guys will not be that keen to actually still visit other live shows to actually be on as guests. That was my only worry about that.
No, not at all. And I don't even know if I would say it's on a decline, because I think like in some areas it is, but then there's other areas that are like popping up and vaping is on the rise there. So it's kind of like balancing out in some ways. But unfortunately, in some of the bigger markets like the US or in the EU and stuff, there's more and more crackdowns.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a bit of an unfair statement which I did. What it's actually growing is in the area which we're not really too much a fan of, and that's a disposable area. The instant vaping devices, those kind of things. And that's basically what I mean for the hobbyist. For the people, most of the members of this channel, we're all hobbyists. And I think for us, it's sad to actually see. But then again, every now and again, they bring out this nice SX, which is new. The DNA 250C from Steam Crave. So there are nice devices which are still being released for the hobbyist, and that's great, but not as many as 2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And I think, Ian, at least obviously I'm looking at this through a lens, from living in the US, but basically, I mean, over the last 4 or 5 years, about half of our vape shops have closed down. So, while I totally understand that disposables are not the best products out there, and they're wasteful and there's all kinds of other issues, for some people that's the only access they have, is because their local vape shops closed down. We have basically an online sales ban, although there's some workarounds if you're savvy. And so for a lot of these folks, they're stuck with going into their smoke shops or their tobacco shops and buying a disposable.
Well, on that point, Matt, welcome to South Africa. I think it's the first time you've actually joined our South African Vape channel. And could you please tell us something about yourself? What got you into vaping? How did you ask Vanessa to get married? How are you raising your 2 daughters? All those kind of things. Just something general about you.
Sure. I started vaping because I got oral cancer from smoking about 2 years ago. And after having surgery, then I still had a hard time quitting, and I kept relapsing, and vaping was basically the only thing that helps me quit long term. And then, I basically started a channel about a year after that, just for fun, never thinking it would, just not thinking it would really go anywhere, just something to do. And here we are. But as far as Vanessa goes, I'm not sure. I'm very good at sweet talking her, I guess.
Well, I'm also in that situation where I've actually got a beautiful blonde wife who's also in the medicinal area. I think your Vanessa actually works at the hospital as well, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's a nurse.
Yep. Yeah. Why did you guys stop making those family videos? Because that was a lot of fun. The challenges which you did, the TikTok, which your daughters normally put up, which you try to replicate, those were fun videos, but you stopped doing them.
Yeah. It's at some point I'd like to do stuff like that again. It was just really hard to juggle that and the vape channel and work around Vanessa's schedule, and then get the kids sometimes the kids would want to do it, sometimes they wouldn't. So it was like I didn't want to like push them. It was just hard to be consistent with it when you're like trying to get your whole family on board, But someday maybe we'll start it up again. Although now the kids are a little older. Well, you know, the oldest one's a 15-year-old teenage girl, and that's all kinds of problems in itself.
Now, so did they actually change? Because I mean, I'm busy with reproduction. I'm a biology teacher, so I'm busy with reproduction with my grade 12s, my seniors. And we just basically talked about that one of the effects of estrogen is a change in the behavior of teenagers. Did you experience that with your daughters?
Oh, yeah. Well, I have one daughter, and then I have a son who's 11. But yeah, I mean, I would say 2 years ago, you started seeing the changes quite a bit. And then like this year, especially, she's gotten in some trouble. She decided she wanted to date like the most rebellious guy in her high school. She got in some trouble. She's been grounded multiple times. She seems to be doing better now, but we shall see.
I was wondering how you get time to do everything which you do, because I also watch your Facebook posts. You're very much into your current events, posting things about the oil pipes running through from Canada, and then you do advocacy and you do video reviews. You just got so much on your plate. How do you get around to all this?
My mind's always going with something. I mean, half the time when I post about current events, I regret it later on because it turns into like a big fight in the comments section. But yeah, I mean, I like learning things, and I'm interested in current affairs and history and science and all kinds of stuff. And so it's just, I have a hard time shutting my mind off. So when you see me post something on Facebook, it's usually just because I can't help myself, and I I needed to get something out.
You're just looking for that one person you tick so they can start getting into arguments. You can start discussing it.
Well, it's not, I don't go into it thinking like, hey, I want to start a bunch of fights on Facebook. I'm just kind of like airing my opinion. And sometimes my opinions can be controversial to some people, I guess.
Yeah, but that's a good thing. You got to bring your point across, how you feel about it, but it's how you bring it across and how you actually treat the oaks with an opposite idea. There's a lot of people inside chat which welcomes you, which says you're the favorite reviewers, and then somebody that asks me, I have to ask you, what is your most favorite setup? Because I mean, I currently have this daily. No matter how many devices I've got, the Arbiter 2 on top of my Aegis Legend is what I use as a daily. I love it. What is your favorite devices to use?
I mean, of all time, even though it's not something that I necessarily use a bunch right now, but it's just like nostalgic to me, and it means a lot to me because it just reminds me of certain times. And it's just like the first time I ever got an awesome vape, a K-Fun on some kind of DNA mod. And I still remember or on a Provari, the Provaris from back in the day. And I still remember the first K-Fun I got, and it was probably 2014, I would say. And it just blew my mind. You know, the flavor and the draw on those things compared to everything else on the market back then was just amazing. Once you figured out how to build it and stuff, of course. But so, I mean, I would say of all time, I still got to put a K-Fun in there. Like it's always stuck with me.
But you're also primarily a restricted direct lung vapor.
Yeah, it goes, well, I go between like restricted direct lung, whether like, for example, on my desk right now, here's the Gear V2 on the little iSolo S. I got the Vupu Doric little pod mod, but then I also like 12 milligram in an MTL pod system, Caliburn G. You know, I'm not much of a salt vapor. They've always kind of bothered my throat. My throat tickles more and I cough a little bit, but I like, for mouths along, I like 12 milligram freebase nicotine liquid. Yeah,
that's exactly what I vape as well. Now, when I spoke to Daniel, DJ LSB, he also mentioned that he acts as a reviewer for a lot of companies before they actually send out to the normal reviewers or make it available. Are you also one of those reviewers which do that for companies?
Not super often. I've done it before, but I don't think I do it as often as Daniel. I think some of them do it with Daniel because of his technology background, you know, and him testing batteries and stuff like that. So that might be why Daniel does it more often. I mean, I would say I maybe do that once or twice a year if a company, and it's usually like a beta test type of thing where a product's, it's maybe like a new product or some kind of new technology or something a little different. And they want people to beta test it to give them opinions before they come up with the final rendition.
Shabir Yusub, one of the guys in the chat, asked you, he says, at Matt, I've been following your channel for a few years and watched it grow to become one of the biggest internationally. And it has. Congratulations from my side as well. Any advice you can give to someone who wishes to start a vaping channel?
Yeah, just be yourself and have fun with it. I mean, the bottom line is that you're never going to last on YouTube if you don't enjoy doing it. So, don't get overwhelmed, as far as the technical side of it, because you also got, you obviously got to learn how to use cameras and editing and all kinds of live stream gear and all kinds of stuff, but just one step at a time. I started my channel out with a webcam and a USB, Yeti microphone, and I didn't know shit about editing or anything. And so it could be overwhelming. You just got to don't overwhelm yourself. Be consistent. That's a big deal, especially for YouTube's algorithm. If you're only putting up one video every other month, you're probably not going to get much of a following. So you got to be consistent and be yourself. Have fun with it, and just don't get overwhelmed. I think a lot of people get overwhelmed really fast, and they want to try to have as good a editing and film gear as a YouTuber with 1 million subscribers or something, but just take it one step at a time.
Yeah, Steven says, he remarks, he says, just be like Matt, and then you'll become a great YouTuber. But Matt,
I'm not that cool.
You guys were lucky in the sense that when you started out, there weren't that many vape reviewers. So I think you guys have got a foot into the door, which a lot of us, which have basically been doing this reviewing thing for 5 years. I think you've been at it for 8 years already, 8 or 9 years.
Yeah, 2014, so 8 years, because February 2014 was when my first video, I believe.
And I think that probably helped a lot for you guys as well.
Yeah, I think that helped. And also at the time, I mean, it was like kind of when hobbyist vaping was really taking off, in 2014. And so and a lot of people were going to the internet to learn how to build a certain atomizer or, how to use the newest mod or whatever. It doesn't mean that somebody couldn't have success now. And I think, if we stay with this long enough, you're going to see ebbs and flows. You'll probably see another, vaping, I don't know if I'd call it a boom, but kind of another boom in some ways. So stick around and be consistent. I mean, there's been times throughout the 8 years where I've just been like, vaping's going to die. This shit is we're screwed, but we're still here.
Well,
and we have to navigate through all the regulations, and there's ups and downs, but I wouldn't shock me if down the road there's another big boom and you see a whole new flurry of new vaping channels then.
Well, I think our South African government, they know something which we don't, because they're exactly expecting this boom which you're talking about, because from 2022 they have got the craziest increase or plans of taxing vaping per milliliter of this, per nicotine, per bottle. That's crazy, the amount. Somebody actually calculated, I think it's going to work out to actually purchase a 100 milliliter bottle about 1,800 rand if they implement the taxes which they're planning to do. Now, obviously there's a lot of people that kick against it, but it's crazy how these people think.
Yeah, it's nuts. So how much would that bottle cost now without the tax?
No, probably around 200 to 260 rand. So
and it goes up to like 1,000 with the tax.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. If the people can only adopt the whole ideology what UK actually has in place, it would be so much better. But the thing is, I don't think the people benefit so much from being healthy than what the UK guys actually do. From their government benefits a lot. Yeah,
for sure. And I think a lot of governments just look at it as a cash grab. I mean, if thinking, well, if we're going to lose cigarette taxes or something, we're going to push it on to the vapors. But I mean, we've seen that in some states in the U.S. We don't have a federal tax yet, but in some states in the U.S. they have insane taxes that have made, you know, certain liquids 10 times the price. And then they wonder why a black market comes up, where people look for loopholes, or, you know, start mixing their own, or get nick shots or whatever. So is your tax on per ml no matter how much nicotine is in it, or is it based on amount of
nicotine? No, the amount of nicotine is actually the big concerning factor. Is where they actually want to tax the most is regarding the nicotine. So that's something which is going to hit the people hard, which is nothing to do it yourself. I mean, you can see all the little bottles which I've got on that side, and there's bottles down at the bottom over here. So I'm heavily into my do-it-yourself, so I can sustain myself, and that's probably going to be the route which people will have to start considering to actually go down if they want to continue vaping. Yeah,
I mean, that's what's unfortunate, and we've seen that in the States and other countries too. Like the hobbyist types like yourself or like me, like we're savvy enough, we've been around long enough where we can find a way to still vape the way we want and get the products we want, or mix ourselves or whatever. But I mean, obviously, it's very hard to convert smokers in that type of environment when it's super duper difficult for them to even get the products to be able to quit smoking with.
So do you make your own juices as well?
I have in the past. I'm kind of lazy. I'm not, I mean, I'm definitely, like, if it gets to the point where I have zero access to pre-made liquid, you know, I absolutely will. I'm going to do that before, you know, buying some tobacco flavored Juul or something like that. So, you know, if I have to, and it comes to that, I definitely will.
Listen, I don't know if you want to actually comment on this comment, but you're welcome to. Corbus Carpenter says, "Hi Matt, love the day you called out Jay on calling you a name slapper."
Yeah, I mean,
I also saw that video. It was very good.
I stick up for myself. I don't like drama. It's not something that I necessarily search out for. Like, that's not the purpose of my channel. My channel is to educate people about vaping and new vaping products, and to talk about advocacy and what's going on there. But I'm not going to let people walk all over me. And you know, I bite my tongue on a lot of things, but if people come after me, I definitely have things I can come back at them for.
Now, if you decide to bring out a device, I mean, you've got RTAs behind you. I'm not sure if you made an RDA already. I know the Serpent, the RTAs, and then the Guar. Is it the Guar?
Yeah, it's some people pronounce it Gower, but a lot of people just say Guar or Gar or something like that. So however you want to pronounce it, you feel free. So technically, I believe it's Gower.
So you just saw there's a gap there where there's two little dual 21700s, and then you came up with an idea. And did you then contact the company, or did the company think of something and ask you to design around the idea?
Now, on that one, I actually contacted the company because, I mean, at the time, remember, this was like, when I first started talking to them about that, I believe it was like 2019. At the time, all the dual 21700 mods were super duper heavy and kind of chunky, and they were made with zinc alloy and stuff. And so I really liked that plastic material that Vandy Vape uses on some mods, because it's pretty durable, but it's lightweight, but it doesn't feel cheap. And so I just thought, let's try to do a dual 21700 with that material. Now, it wasn't super easy because you got to reinforce that material enough to make it strong enough to handle the tension of those batteries and the C-frame and all kinds of stuff like that. But we made it work.
But it's a great mod. Congratulations. The Guar is extremely popular down in South Africa.
Oh, cool.
Especially awesome. The blue one. The blue one is beautiful.
Blue is my favorite color. So, blue and gray.
So do you constantly still use your creations?
Yeah, I do. I mean, when it comes to like a dual 21700 mod, that's usually like my at-home mod that I have when I use like a high-powered device, whether it be a mesh sub-ohm tank that needs 80 watts plus or whatever, or a dual coil RDA or whatever, but then with something like this, where it's a single coil RTA, I'll put it on a smaller mod. So it just depends on what I'm using. And because I'm always testing different stuff, I tend to have different things on my desk every day.
So you probably also think about when you release something, 2 months later somebody else releases it, and you think by yourself, yeah, why didn't I think of that? Did that ever come across to you?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, that's just vaping for you. I mean, there's been multiple. I remember when Brian TVC came out with his squonker, the first top fill squonker, and it's just like, duh. Yeah. Why didn't I think of that? And that happens all the time. But I mean, that's what's great about innovation and different people trying different things. Everyone's got their own ideas.
Is there something in the future popping out from your side? An idea which you currently
I do have. Yeah, there's going to be a dual 18650 Gower, so it'll be a Gower 18. So it's going to be basically a smaller version of that mod. And eventually, I think I'll do a V2 of the 21700 version, but that's early. So I'm not sure when that'll come out.
Pierre Harding asks, please ask Matt if he can come out with a dual 18650 squonker. You're not much into your squonking. I don't often see you squonk.
No. I mean, I go in and out, and I think that's kind of how a lot of vapors have done. Because I haven't been around since the beginning, but I mean, squonking's kind of gone in and out of style like 3 times since I've been vaping, and it's not like I'm doing it to follow the trends, but when you're reviewing products, you tend to end up using the products that you're testing, and there hasn't been a lot of squonkers on the market. And so, it's like, I would love to see another resurgence of squonkers and squonk addies. I especially like single coil, single coil squonk addies. So I'm not anti-squonking. It's just, I end up using the other stuff that I'm testing out, and there hasn't been a whole lot on the squonk market recently.
Yeah, no, I still got a lot of single coil. I've still got the Hadley, and I've still got the Entheon.
Yeah.
And I've still got the Flame.
Hadley's a good one.
I've got a lot of them. And it's sad that there's so few dual squonkers. I can only think about the drone, and I think about the top side. But there's not many dual 18650 squonkers out there. And I think it's because it's too bulky, most probably, because you've got that additional bottle section, makes it a bit hard, or your design is basically going to be restricted to something which is going to be a triangle. Just to get that bottle section.
It's definitely, you can only make them so small. And so light. Even if you use, didn't Tony come out with a dual battery squonker a while back, and he used that same Vandy Vape plastic material? I forget now. Wasn't there a Pulse dual or something?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big Vandy Vape fan.
Help me on the chat. But anyway, I mean, I think that's like the smallest you could get a dual battery squonker.
Are there any vape reviewers which you do not get along with, which you hope you never meet in the street?
No, not really. There was more. I mean, there was more drama with amongst vape reviewers probably like 5 or 6 years ago. And, you had, and we see this on YouTube a lot, not just with vape channels, but you have an up and coming channel, and they want to punch up and go after the channels that are already established. And that used to happen a lot. You'd have people, I remember I'd have people anytime I'd screw up something, maybe I'd say the wrong name for something, or I'd give the wrong spec on accident. You'd have people calling me out in their videos and stuff. It's not like that as much anymore. And so I've gotten along with pretty much every vape reviewer that exists now. I'm totally fine with hanging out with them. Even Jay, who I've battled back and forth with, before we've debated, I've been around Jay in person multiple times and get along with him just fine. So, there's no one that I absolutely hate or that I would be uncomfortable with being around in person.
Matt, I'm going to tell you something. I don't think you know this. I don't think you remember this. But the time I actually got the most respect for you is a show one of Jay's shows, he had you on. Now, I don't know if you know the issue which the two of us basically had, the misunderstanding. He was having a live show and he was always talking about this juice of his, rain dance. And I said, but listen, can I send him one of my bottles, one of my do-it-yourself, in exchange for one of his rain dances? And I think he interpreted it as if I was asking for freebies, for stuff like that. And then he started calling me out, etc., etc. And later on he had a live show with you on, and he mentioned the situation and he asked you your opinion. And you were neutral about it. You didn't pick a side. And I just thought that was great, because you didn't know the whole story. You admitted it and did not pick his side, even though you knew him extremely well and didn't know me at all. So that was awesome. Thanks for that. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, I vaguely do, but it's tough. But yeah, it's stupid little drama like that. It's just not.
Well, I think most of the drama originates from a bit of jealousy. Whether it is a lot of followers which the guy has, which is going to support his product, or whatever the case, I think it's some kind of jealousy which starts this whole drama, whole situation. Most of the times. But sometimes, obviously, there are people that do cash grab, like the dead rabbit. Absolutely, I totally agree with that. And that would also irritate me as a large reviewer. But yeah, such is life.
Well, I mean, to peel a few layers back on that, it's society in general. People like drama. And that's why you have certain YouTube channels, not just in vape, but in everything, that tend to be more drama related because it gets views and clicks. And so, it's kind of a bigger macro issue. Obviously, like if people didn't care about that shit, then those channels wouldn't be making anything drama related. And so we tend to it's just like the people that can't turn away from looking at a car crash or something. We tend to always want to see what's going on, and that's why you see a market for drama-related content on YouTube.
No, absolutely. There's another thing I wanted to ask you. If somebody wants to start vaping, now you've tested 300 times more than what I've tested. What would you recommend for somebody to get off smoking, something which has got very good flavor, very convenient? What device would you actually advise?
Oh, this is difficult because there's so many good ones now. If you remember back like 4 or 5 years ago with the one bad thing about the hobbyist scene was that we did neglect some of the newer vapors. There wasn't a lot of good mouth to lung stuff, a lot of good introductory products for newer vapors. Now there's tons of them. I mean, I usually steer people towards the Caliburn stuff. It's consistent. It's one of my most used pod systems. Yeah. I love, I think UL makes some of the best coils out there. And so, but there's still people that have problems with these as well. So I would say something Caliburn or UL-ish, but the biggest thing is how do I frame this? It depends on the person, because some people want something that 100% mimics the cigarette that they are getting off of, and other people like something that's different, that's completely different, maybe has a looser draw, gives them more vapor. So, there's like no perfect answer for everybody because everybody's different. But if you want something that mimics a cigarette, I would just definitely get something that's a tighter MTL draw that has good flavor and that's really easy to use, because with a newer vapor, if they have a bunch of problems with something, there's a good chance they're going to go back to smoking.
Yeah. Now, there's also 3 companies which I will also recommend. Same with UL with you. And I mean, this new one which they actually brought out, which is extremely convenient from UL.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah, it's a nice grab and go situation. And then Univapo. I'm not sure if you know anything about Univapo. They brought out the Mesos.
Yeah, they make good stuff as well. Yeah.
And then the Nivox. Nivox with the Nivox feeling. They brought out the Feeling Mini, and I've still got mine there. And these are also very nice devices to actually use.
The feelings are really good as well.
Yeah.
I think there's a new one coming out. There's that. Do you have the X?
No, I don't have
the Feelin' X.
No.
I think there's one called like the Feelin' X that's coming out or something too. I agree with you on those as well. The tough thing with some of those up and coming brands is like they're harder for some people to find, and you want to hope that they continue to be able to have access to the coils or the pods, whatever
that's
it
the whole
is.
thing.
So like, there's plenty of good. I just reviewed the Avocado Baby from Avocado Vapor yesterday, and that thing's fantastic as far as the vape quality goes. But you want to, how long are the pods going to be around? Are people going to be able to continue to have access to them? If they're only around for a couple months, then, people aren't going to be very happy if they invest in that device.
How long have you still decided to stay in the vaping game? Ever considered stopping the whole thing and starting an e-bike business like Indoor Smokers or something like that, alternatively?
Is he selling e-bikes now? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, now he's doing extremely well with e-bikes.
Huh. I have I have no intentions of stopping anytime soon. I'm pretty invested in this. I'm the board secretary at a.k.a., which is the largest U.S. consumer tobacco harm reduction organization. So we obviously fight for vaping, but we also fight for anything else that's a reduced risk product. So I just have no intentions of leaving. There's been times where like fuck this, you get upset about the vape community, or there's a lot of drama, but I don't have any intentions of leaving anytime soon. But I do, on the side, like I've done other work. I've done video work for people. I've done, I have little like ventures here and there, but I definitely don't have any plans of leaving the vape world.
But is vaping your primary income at the moment? The vape industry?
Yeah, but I also invest. I trade stocks and stuff like that. So that's income as well. But yeah, I would say primary income would be from like the products that I design.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, look at this guy. Let's just remove these guys from the chat. All these, well, it's only, there you go. Oh no, there's the spirit. Matt, this is another thing which I actually wanted to ask you. What is your worst device you've ever tested? Can you remember that?
Oh, as far as flavors go?
Well, let's quickly start at your worst mod and then go to your worst atomizer.
Oh gosh. In order to think of worst mod, you got to go back to like the early days, because even the mods that aren't that great now are so much better than mods from 5 or 6 years ago. I'm trying to think. There was one mod, and it looked like a transformer or something, and it was massive. I'm not sure on mods. I'll tell you, like, the worst vape I've had off of a RGA was those ones that had the little whistle with the little spinning thing in them, like the turbo RDAs and stuff like that. That's probably the worst vape I've had off of an atomizer. As far as flavors go, I've tried all kinds of disgusting shit. I've tried blue cheese. I've tried shrimp. I've tried pizza flavors. A lot of people have made joke flavors over the years, and I've tried them, and they're the worst. is the blue cheese for sure. And it stunk up the room for a couple days.
Oh my word! No, we won't try that. DMSC says the Guar 2100 is awesome, best 2100 beta mod out there. So yeah,
thanks, man.
But I told you, man.
That's what I was going for.
The South Africans, they enjoy it though. Zach says, yeah, you do get a Pulse Dual Squonk. He says he has one, Zach Damon. So yeah, there is one out from Vandy Vape, for sure. Are you also one of these Vandy Vape, the Pulse AIO fans?
I like it. I think, but and I said this in my review, I think that there's some glaring flaws with the billet box ecosystem that a lot of people don't want to admit, because they're cool devices. They look freaking awesome. They're fun to customize. There's some, cool atomizers inside there, but they're, traditional Boro tanks can be a bitch to fill sometimes. And I don't think that they always have the best flavor because the way that those tanks are designed, you have such a long chimney from where your coil is at the bottom to your mouth. So, for example, let's say you're using a Nautilus tank with Nautilus coils. I think the flavor is stronger on that tank than it is once you put a Nautilus coil into a Boro tank with the bridge and stuff, because the chimney is so much longer than in the Nautilus tank. I hope I'm making sense.
And absolutely.
You know, so, and obviously taking your tanks out, you got to unscrew things. They're cool. I own billet boxes. I use them sometimes. But I mean, I think, you know, any flaw that you might have, although I will say with the Pulse AIO, it's easier to fill because of the rubber plug compared to the Boros. But you know, that whole ecosystem has some flaws that a lot of the hardcore fans don't want to admit. And hopefully, you don't have too many billet box fans in the chat. It's not that I don't like them. It's not that I don't like them. They just have some issues. That there's other stuff that's a better vape.
Be careful stepping over here. No, man,
I mean, they're cool. They're nostalgic, but
you're 100% with your opinion. And for me, it's all about flavor. Absolutely. I mean, I can still play around with this, and I mean, I can still play around with this. Why would I want to play around with something which has got a subpar flavor? Whether it's a dot, and I've already had a billet box. I've still got my frosted dot at the back there with the Atmos Zoo bridge, and it's just doesn't give me the flavor which these devices do. So it's pointless for me to actually try them. And I said exactly that on my Vandy Vape video. I said it's a nice device to play with. Nice,
now, in fairness, like someone said in the chat, the Boro bridges have gotten a lot better in the last year, and I have not tried every single bridge. So yes, I'm not good speaking for every one of them. Just my experience is some things can be hit and miss. Yeah. They're still vapeable. I just don't think the flavor's as good as some other devices.
Yeah, and it's basically the same with e-pipes as well. E-pipes are great. But because you've got that long travel, you've got to vape a specific MTL 12 milligram tobacco flavor to be able to enjoy
something, or something with more flavoring in it. Some of the stronger, sweeter flavors.
I mean, it's all about distance, and I think that was the opposite. I've always been a Torrent Beast fan. I've still got 3 Torrent Beasts. I think it's fantastic, but I hate the top caps. But then the Arbiter 2 came out, which number one is top air, so you're not going to have the leaking from any leaking issues. But if you look how high the barrel section actually goes before you got the narrowing of the chimney, the flavor is fantastic on this thing. I love it so much. But it's all in the wicking. As I said, you got to thin out your cotton. And I, luckily, because I make my own juices, I believe in a 35-65 ratio of juices. It saturates quicker, it gives you a more saturated vape. I love it. So I think this Arbiter 2 is great. If you know how to use it, it's good.
Yeah, that's a good RTA. It is very flavorful for sure. But yeah, I think that's something that a lot of people don't always know or realize is just the longer run, the flavor tends to diminish. You know, even on a tank where sometimes they have an extension, like this one has an extension, right? Yeah, the atemporal here, I have the extension on it. The flavor's stronger in this thing when it's in shorty mode than when it's in the taller mode.
Yeah, and it's the more area you actually have when after you've vaped, where your liquid particles, put it that way, let's call it your liquid droplets, can actually go and stick against. That's going to diminish the amount of flavor which you actually get. So the longer the throw, the longer the chimney, that's what's going to happen, and hence a bit less flavor.
Agreed. And that's why, you know, with some of those mini tiny shorty RTAs, I mean, they have really small liquid capacity, but just banging flavor because your mouth is so close to the coil.
Yeah.
Or I reviewed a pod system called the Revolve from InMood the other day, and it's circular, and it's kind of an interesting shape. Some people are going to like it, some people won't. But your mouth, because of the way the pods are shaped, I've never seen a pod where the coil is so close to your mouth, and the flavor is just freaking fantastic because of it.
Yeah, and I think that's a secret behind all those 22 millimeter single coil squonking RDAs, which I've still got in my collection.
Yeah.
it's very close, but you just got to get a bit more dense.
Small chamber and really close. Yep.
Yeah, and you got to get your cotton a bit more tighter through your coils though, so it doesn't give you that lot of spit back, and it's a boomer. You just got to know how to skonk, because it's very much easier to, obviously, for the leaking situation again, because your airflow is fairly low down. They still absolutely great. So Matt, I don't want to waste any more of your time. I said 30 minutes because I actually want to get you on the show at a later stage again, if you don't mind. Because there's a lot more which I want to ask you, and there's a lot more questions which the people here want to find out from you.
30 minutes is easy, man. This went by fast. I'm used to going on shows where you have to talk for 2 hours, but I'm definitely down to come on again, and I'm sure we'll have a lot more to talk about.
Yeah, no, definitely, because I mean that's the whole thing. I want to keep it nice and short because you still got your evening left in front of you. I know you probably that you're waiting. The food is on the table already. Vanessa's probably going to call you now soon.
Oh no, it's only it's noon here.
Yeah,
I have to edit a video after this. Vanessa won't be home for like 7 hours. You want to talk for the next 7 hours? I'm game, man.
You don't want to go and do that video. You don't feel too keen. Jazz, yeah, please tell the people inside chat how long it actually takes to make a video, because you know what gets me down is when you you put in so much effort into a review, where you go to the close-up and you try to explain, you try to give them the best possible camera quality which you can, and then the people watch it but they don't like, or they don't dislike, or they don't comment. There's no interaction on the video. Doesn't that get you down?
Yeah, sometimes, but then I think, well, I do that myself too, where you watch a video and you scroll on by afterwards. You don't, I'm bad at forgetting to like videos and stuff like that. That does, but as far as time goes, it's really product dependent. Some products take me way longer to do the review on than others, but I've also gotten a lot faster as far as editing goes, and my camera settings and all that than I used to be. I mean, there were times when I first started where, a video would take me all day long and I'd be like editing it into the late evening hours. And now I can really trim that down. I mean, if it's a fairly simple, straightforward video, it might take me like 2 hours. If it's something that's longer and there's more, cuts and there's more parts to it, maybe a rebuildable or something like that, that can take me, 4 hours or so. But a lot of it's just speed of editing. The editing usually is what takes the longest, not the filming. But I've just gotten so used to, gotten my all my shortcuts on my keyboard just perfect as far as doing the cuts and everything. And so the longer I do it, the faster I get it at the editing side.
You must actually do yourself a favor and go and watch the Wing It, where the title of it is Getting to Know DJ LSB. And he took us through his setup. Now, I think he's the guy who's got the most complete, sophisticated, high-tech setup out there. And go and watch what he actually, because he pans his camera around to actually show that he's got a station there for that, and he's got a station over here, and he's got all those instruments where he tests voltage drop and all that kind of stuff. But you also got great equipment, but I don't think it's as intense as his.
No, I mean, I don't do all the testing stuff. Back in 2015, I dabbled in it a little bit. I got some guy was making machines back then to be able to test voltage drop on mechanical mods and test batteries and stuff like that. And I learned some of it, but I figured there was guys already doing that. And so, I didn't feel like it was my style, I guess. If somebody wants to see the more technical numbers and stuff like that, they can watch Phil Basardo or Daniel. If they want, a 10-minute review that's covering all the basics on how to use it, any things to look out for, any pros and cons, and any extra hot takes I have inside, then they watch me. So I think there's something for everyone out there. And depending on the product, somebody might prefer to watch Daniel's video if it's the newest Yee chip, because he's really good with shit like that. Or somebody might want to watch my video if it's, an RTA or something. And to each their own. Everybody's got their own style and what they like.
What is your setup which you actually use? Do you have different cameras for when you go live on shows than what you actually use for your close-ups or your general reviews? Do you have different cameras?
Yeah, like right now I'm sitting on, and I moved about 2 years ago, and I still have some things that I want to do in my office, so it's not complete. But right now I'm on my computer, which you can, when I film my videos during the FaceTime shot, you can see my computer in the background over my right shoulder. So right now I'm sitting at that computer. There's a Sony A6500 through a capture card that's filming me, and obviously just a USB mic right here. As far as my reviews go, I use a GH5. I'm gonna upgrade to the GH6 probably fairly soon. It's a Panasonic. I use a separate what do you call that? Like super cardioid microphone that's good for dialogue that I record my audio into a Mix Pre 3 recorder, I think it's called, and then I sync it all in post when I'm editing. So it's a fairly simple setup, but it's gotten me, it's gotten me to where I'm really comfortable with the gear I use, and I like it. I don't use full frame cameras, even though I think they look awesome especially on the face shots. But I don't use full frame cameras because Micro Four Thirds, which is what the GH5 is, gives me a little more depth of field for the up and close shots, and I'm not battling as much with that shallow depth of field with some things. I know you can close your aperture down, but that's also, then you have to bump up your ISO and stuff. Anyway, not trying to get too nerdy with cameras, but yeah, I don't have the most technical setup, but it works for me great.
What is your worst part of reviewing? I can tell you what mine is. I just want to know what yours is.
I mean, the editing is probably my least favorite. Well, I take that. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But I mean, the worst part of reviewing is when you film a whole video and like your card is corrupted or something, or even worse than that, you film the video, you're almost done editing, and then you get some kind of crash that totally screws up your whole timeline and your editing, and you gotta redo a bunch of shit. So basically just the technical hiccups are what upset me the most.
No, mine is cleaning the atomizer.
What's yours?
Mine's cleaning the RTA afterwards. It is some.
Yeah.
I don't mind the editing, nothing, but some of these things are so intriguing and they've got so many components, and it just sucks to clean them out. And I don't know if you build your own coils, but I know there's the coil builders. The amount of coil builders has also gone down on the decrease. Though there's not so many out there which still do it. Do you get sponsored coils or not?
I get various people that send them to me. Yeah. So
I mean, always got enough.
They don't pay me money to use them, but they'll send me free coils, and which is awesome, But it's been a while. I still have quite a few some of the Chinese made ones, like the Coilologies and stuff like that, which are actually pretty good coils. But you're right. There's not as many small niche coil builders as there was a few years ago.
Yeah, I'm lucky that the local company called White Collar sponsors my coil, so I'm extremely happy about that. But I mean, to test the Blotto Max, for instance, I will obviously have to build it again with 2-3 millimeter diameters, and then test it for 2-3 days, then clean it out again because they only send me one, and then put in fresh 2 new coils, especially for the video, and then at a later stage when I want to put this away, I've got to clean it out again. So you actually waste 2 sets of coils, which are great coils, which it probably normally lasts me about four months plus if you look after your coils and you've got juices which do not clog up your coils. But yeah, that's a bummer which I don't like about reviewing these things, especially if, as I said, they send one.
Yeah. I mean, this might sound like I'm a diva or something, but if they ask, I'm definitely asking for more than one, because then I can have like that tester unit, and not have to clean it. And even if it gets scratched or beat up or whatever, that's fine. And then I can open up a fresh one on the review. But yeah, sometimes that happens to me too, where you only get one, and it's more of a pain for sure.
Do you keep what you like the most and give away the rest, or what do you do with your surplus devices?
Yeah, I give away as much as possible, and like I found out recently, my neighbor started vaping. She was a smoker for a long time, so I've just like given her boxes of stuff to try. I send some stuff to various friends. I'm trying to get a relationship together with this, and I've talked to them before, but they've been wishy-washy, especially since COVID and stuff. But there's a treatment center here that was willing to take some donations to be able to give to, folks that are obviously smokers that are in treatment, in drug and alcohol treatment. And so I'm going to keep trying for them, because I think that would be a really good outlet. I hate having to send stuff, So like if there's a place local, if there's people local, Vanessa's brother vapes, I give stuff to him. The neighbor vapes. The more people I know locally, the better, so I don't have to ship it to anybody.
Yeah, because I've got a roll of bubble wrap there. You got to cut a piece of bubble wrap, then close it off, then go to the post office.
I know, it's just I hate shipping stuff.
It sucks.
Yeah, you got to go to the post office. It's just a pain in the ass.
So yeah, no, that's a very noble, but a very it's something which is very convenient for you having that. But I think that's a great idea. If you can donate a lot of the stuff to that clinic and help a lot of people, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, for sure.
No, that's super. Matt, thank you very much for joining. I don't want to hold you up there. You got to go and do your review, and I'm sure we're going to watch it tomorrow as well. So I do appreciate the fact that you agreed, and that you're also prepared to come back onto the show again at a later stage.
For sure.
It's very difficult to get hold of you, by the way. All the emails which I sent get sent back to me and says that it's junk mail, and 1 out of 10 probably get through to you. That's why I was so happy when you contacted me via Facebook, where I could just post a link.
Huh. Sorry, man. I need to. I like go through my junk folder once a month, and I need to do it more often because I end up missing a bunch of stuff.
Even your email thinks that I'm junk.
I don't think you're junk, buddy. Now that we've talked back and forth on email, I'm sure it won't go in the junk in the future. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm fine. I'm just messing with you. But thank you very much, Matt. Enjoy the rest of your evening there, and I'm looking forward to our next session.
Thanks, sir. Thanks for having me on. It was a good time.
It's a pleasure. Cheers, mate.
Bye-bye.
Well, there you go, guys. That was Matt Cully, Suckmymod, that decided to join us. So yeah, next Wednesday, I'm not sure what we're going to have on, but that live session which we had Friday evening with Neil Hawkey joining and Nico Libbert joining and Jaco Velters joining, it seems like the people enjoyed that. They liked that situation. And give me your opinions about it. Would you like to actually have something like that, though? Say the Wednesday or the Friday evening, the closest to the end of the month, or after the closest Friday after the month, or the middle of the month, or whatever. But it was nice. I enjoyed it, though, to get you folk on here with your cameras and have a general chat and find out what you guys enjoy, vaping and all those kind of numbers. As I said, go to Adriaan Kruiwagen, eSig SA. Go and check out his juice line which he has. Go and order something which you think you're going to like, and you are going to like it. I tell you now, this guy actually knows how to mix. Thank you very much for everyone joining inside. There's Cod Ace, ACYT. Thank you very much. He even says you guys must like the video. Like the video, man. Oaks. Come people, Gates, give a massive like. Pierre White Collar is boss. I enjoy White Collar coils a lot. I'm so used to them now. I think it's absolutely great coils. It was a pleasure, guys. It was a pleasure. I try to reach out to Mike Vapes on different occasions. I tried emailing him. I tried sending him via Facebook. He just never returns any messages. So I'm not sure whether those things are still useful. But if you guys have got a means of me to contact any one of those guys who you want on the show, please let me know, and I'll try and organize that. But I think we had some great people on the show up until this point. I think we've been spoiled as a South African vape channel, and it's because of you oaks that I tried to reach out to the elite, to the best of the best, and get the interesting guys onto the show. So have a good night. Thanks, guys, for joining, and have a safe weekend. Have a safe weekend. Let's just get our extra ready and let that little run. There you go. Just want to check. There you go. Cheers, oaks. Have a good night.